Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about the unexpected holiday costs that you could face if you're over here on holiday in Mallorca this summer. Now, one of them is so serious it could even involve landing you in tremendous debt as well, so keep watching on into this video. But I also have a weather warning for you in place as well. I'm going to bring you that weather warning as we walk back to the car very shortly. I'm going to take you down into Palma Nova as well. We're going to take a look at the beaches this morning too, so stick around for that. But also I'm going to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel as well for all the latest holiday news, travel tips, travel guides and live streams to come out from Mallorca for this summer and throughout the year too. And don't forget to click on that notifications bell too. It's completely free content, it's free to watch, and well, it all kind of helps you out with your holiday. Okay, so we're going to start off by talking about unavoidable costs that you may face if you're staying in any kind of hotel accommodation or you're coming in on a cruise ship too. And that is about the eco tax or the tourist tax. Now, you're going to know about this, many of you will know about it, but I appreciate that if you have booked a summer holiday over here, you may not know about it. And that means that as soon as you arrive at your hotel, you're going to be asked to pay this tax, and that equates to around €3.30-ish per person per night for adults over the age of 16. Kids don't have to pay it, but you may need to budget for around €25 for a 7-day holiday, staying in around a sort of 3 or 4 star hotel. I've got a full article all about tourist tax, about this eco tax on my website. I'll drop a link to that in the description text below. You can find it on MallorcaUnderTheSun.com as well, but it'll just outline how much you may well have to pay for this. Okay, so on my travels this week, while I've been out and about around the island, I've been given some other little snippets of information from holiday makers, and I have to say thank you so much. If anything, if you have any issues, just track me down. I'm in the resorts, particularly in the southwest, every single week. Let me know of any issues that you come across on holiday, and of course I'll let everyone else know about them. But this holiday tip has been brought to you from some lovely holiday makers, thank you Sally Ann, staying over in Santa Ponsa. Now, this can apply to anyone who is staying in an all-inclusive hotel, because some of these all-inclusive hotels aren't really all-inclusive. They often also have an exclusive element about them. And what do I mean about that? Well, it means that sometimes you are going to have to pay extra for things like cocktails or certain brands of beer, or for kids as well, you may have to pay to have access to the nice ice creams or the branded ice creams. Make sure you check when you're booking your holiday as well if you have these little upgrades, these little upsells in your all-inclusives. Find out if they're as all-inclusive as they say they are, because particularly if you're travelling with children or just for yourself as well, it might just be, it's not really very nice actually when you're going to somewhere that's supposed to be all-inclusive and finding out you have to pay extra for stuff. It's not cool. Some places as well may even charge for sunbeds as well. I have heard there's another place in Santa Ponsa as well. I think it's the Globales Verdemar, where you have to actually pay for the sunbeds for the day too. So all these little extras, they all start adding up, and if you're over here on a budget, just be aware of them. I don't want anyone coming over paying a whole ton of money for their holiday to end up disappointed that they're having to budget more for nicer drinks or for ice creams for the kids. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So keep me posted about this. Let me know of any other unexpected holiday costs that you have encountered. Just drop a comment in this video as well, so I can highlight it for others in a future video. Okay, so the next unexpected cost that you could incur will be the nasty shock of picking up your car hire or car rental at the airport, or from wherever actually, particularly if you're coming in late at night and you're tired and you've had a long journey. And that is the thorny issue of car hire insurance. Now, I really encourage you to look at this and find out the costs of any car rental insurance for your hire car before you even come out here and what that includes. If not, you can get these independent car insurance policies as well before you come over. It would mean if you picked up any damage, you'd have to pay for it in advance. Make sure you have funds to do that and then claim it back after. Alternatively, and I'm just going to read out a comment here from the Mallorca Under the Sun Facebook group by a chap who, he said he booked online, paid the extra for insurance, picked up the car and then had to pay another €400 at the airport, which is literally the cost of another holiday, for his insurance. I mean, that's completely crazy. And like I said, if you're swept up in the moment and you've got queues of people behind you, you may end up having to pay this, or you may just agree to paying this and wonder why you did later on. So look into car hire, car rental insurance before you come over here, and just have a plan for that before you pick up your car hire too. Also, check out my video all about renting a car over here and how it can also cost you. I'll drop a link to that video in the description text somewhere below this video. I'll pin it up here somewhere as well. Please watch that too. Got a real experience from Holiday Maker too, so just bear all of those tips in mind, because at the end of the day, you do not want your holiday costing you more than you thought that it would do. Okay, so my final warning here about unexpected costs, and my goodness, these unexpected costs could literally run into the hundreds of thousands of euros, dollars, pounds, whatever, if you're coming over here, is with regards to health insurance and travel insurance. If you are taking out a travel insurance policy, this will not completely protect you. If you do not declare any existing health conditions when you take out that policy, do not just blindly take out a policy and think you're covered if you're coming over here on holiday and then you go and get sick. Because, my goodness, in the past week I've heard some cases of holiday makers over here who maybe have had pre-diagnosed health conditions and have thought they're covered with their health insurance, and they've then gone to a private hospital to then find out that they actually have to pay for their treatment because they didn't declare any health condition. Same goes as well if you do fall sick as well. I really encourage you just to go to the state-run hospitals, go to Son Espaces, go to the Inca Hospital. In fact, I've got a full article all about seeing a doctor over here in Mallorca and going to hospital in Mallorca. It's also on my website. I'm going to drop that article in the description text below this video for all the most frequently asked questions about getting medical treatment over here, because if you're not adequately covered and you go and stay in a private hospital, well, these costs could spiral to tens or hundreds of thousands of euros, and you don't want that on holiday. Now, we had friends over just last week who the husband had to check into, he checked into a private hospital thinking he was covered with his health insurance. The health insurance company was actually closed over the weekend. The private hospital actually refused to treat him unless he actually prepaid for his treatment as well, which totaled €4,500, which is a cost that, well, he wasn't expecting to pay. Now, will he be able to claim this back? We're not sure. Does he have a pre-existing health condition? Maybe so. He might not be able to get that money back, which is why I recommend, if you're coming over here, bring your GHIC, bring your EHIC cards if you're coming from Europe or the UK. If you don't have an EHIC or a GHIC, in the UK you can actually apply for a provisional replacement certificate as well. All the information's in the article I've got as well, but just don't get stung with that. If you're taking out health insurance, please declare any pre-existing health conditions, because if you end up having to have surgery over here, if you end up in the private hospital, it could cost you the more than your mortgage even to eventually get paid off, and well, you don't want that. And we've seen the stories in the tabloid press as well. We've seen people being caught out in the past too. Also, another really important tip as well, even before the health insurance as well, before you have that health insurance, if you do fall sick, insist that you're taken to a public hospital. Taxi drivers may well just take you to a private hospital, but please insist on going to a public state-run hospital. It could save you some money. Okay everyone, before I leave this cafe as well, I'm going to talk about the weather warning that we have in place for this week. But before we leave here, I just want to say, if you're over here on holiday this week, we've got extremely high temperatures. Please be patient. If you're going to any of the cafes and restaurants, don't forget people are working here as well in very, very hard conditions. It's very, very hot. If anyone is maybe a little bit grumpier than normal, don't be so quick to leave a negative TripAdvisor review if someone was maybe not as happy as maybe they would be if it was a little bit cooler. Everyone's doing their best here. The island is really busy. Please also try and tip as well. That's all I can say. But anyway, I'm going to finish my coffee here. We're going to head off back towards Palma Nova, and I'm going to talk to you about the weather warning that we have in place for this week. And as I cling to the shade of a palm tree that's just in front of me, I can confirm that it's going to be a hot one. Now, I've just had a weather alert on my phone to say that temperatures are going to peak at 40 degrees in just a couple of hours' time. It's going to be very, very warm. So my warning to you is, if you're coming over to Mallorca on holiday this week, be careful if you're going to be spending all day in the sun. Now, that means taking a lot of sunscreen to the beach with you, at least a factor 50. Make sure you cover up and you keep reapplying during the course of the day, particularly if you're going into the sea. If you've got kids, try and pop them into like one of those rash vests, a lycra vest. If not, just take a t-shirt and make sure you're reapplying that sun cream, even if it says it's waterproof and they're going into the sea. So just bear that in mind. Oh, we've got some drilling going on here, but I'm going to carry on. Anyway, if possible as well, try and give yourself a bit of a break outside of the sunshine too. Try and get out of the sun from around midday to 3 o'clock. It's still going to be roasting hot in the afternoon, it's still going to be roasting hot in the morning, but try and give yourself a little bit of a break from outside of the sun too. And evening temperatures we're going to be seeing this week are going to be of a low of 23 degrees, most likely 25. It's going to be hot and sticky at night, but the good news is, if you're coming over, you're not going to need your winter clothes this week. Okay everyone, let's just keep walking down the back of the beach here as I head on back to the car. I'll give you a few more views of Palma Nova. Okay, so my final warning about the weather over here is, if you're taking part in any kind of activities like road cycling or hiking, do this first thing in the morning or last thing at night. Please do not go out in the middle of the day. And I was amazed to see some cyclists, some professional cyclists on the roads as I was coming into Palma Nova in their lycras. I don't know how they do it, but you're going to be susceptible to heat stroke in this weather too. I've also seen some people out running as well. Try and leave any kind of physical activities like this to first thing in the morning or last thing at night, really just for your own safety. Do not underestimate the power of the heat here and what it can do to your body as well. So just try and avoid that. Leave it to early in the morning, go out later at night, but just don't go out in the middle of the day. Okay everyone, I hope this video has proved useful. I've got loads of links in the description text below to help you out with your holiday as well. You're going to have an amazing time though if you do come out this week, so enjoy. I will be back here next week as well with more information coming out of Mallorca, so consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Find me on the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.